Hello, this video is a bonus geometry mini lesson called Polygon Party, and it's just if you need a little bit extra help classifying 2D figures or you just feel like doing it for fun. It's an activity we used to do in 3rd grade, and I stole it and brought it to 4th grade, and I think it's really helpful when trying to just classify basic 2D figures and understand the difference between them. Okay, so let's think about if we had a quadrilateral party. Who would be invited and who would not? So it's important to think about what makes a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a four-sided figure. So which of these shapes could come and which of these would not be able to come? Okay, the way that I sorted them, we can see here that the square, the trapezoid, the parallelogram, the rhombus, and the rectangle were all invited to the parallelogram party. Oh yeah, these ones all came. But the triangle and the pentagon could not come because they are not four-sided figures. Remember, quad means four. For the parallelogram party, who is invited to the party? So a parallelogram is any shape with two sets of parallel sides. I want you to think about which shapes would be invited and which ones are not invited to the exclusive parallelogram party. And pause it and play for the answer. A parallelogram party, yeah. So this shape is just your classic parallelogram, and they can come because the top and bottom are parallel, will never touch, and so are the sides. A square and a rectangle and a rhombus are also parallelograms because the tops are parallelogram, or the top and bottom, and the sides are all parallel. There's two sets of parallel sides. Now, who cannot come? The triangle can't, the pentagon can't. What about the trapezoid? Well, a trapezoid only has one set of parallel sides, so he is not invited to the parallelogram party. Rhombus party! Who is invited to the rhombus party? Now, you need to start by thinking about what is the definition of a rhombus. A rhombus is a figure, a four-sided figure with four equal sides. So if a shape has all equal sides and has four equal sides, they get to come to the party. If they do not have four equal sides, they are not invited. So who can come? Pause and play with the answer. Alrighty, this is your classic rhombus shape. It has four equal sides, but the angles are acute and obtuse. This is a square, but remember, a square is a special type of rhombus because are all four sides equal? Yes, so the square gets to come. All these other sides, shapes, they either don't have four sides or they don't have equal sides, and therefore are not invited to the rhombus party. Rectangle party! Only invited if you're a rectangle. What is the definition of a rectangle? A rectangle is a shape with four right angles and opposite sides are equal. So the top and bottom, or the two sides, the opposite sides are equal. Which shapes would be invited to the rectangle party? Pause and play for the answers. A rectangle and a square are the only ones that get to come. It's a small party. So a square is a special type of rectangle because it has four right angles and because it has opposite sides are equal. The top and bottom are equal and the two sides are equal, just like a rectangle. Everyone else, nope, not invited. You get stopped at the door. You're not invited to the party. Sad. Square party! Who gets to come to the square party? Remember, to be invited to the exclusive square party, you must have 4 right angles, and you must have 4 right sides. A lonely party. Now, why do you think the rectangle and the rhombus are not invited to the square party? If you can say that, if you can verbalize why a rectangle and a rhombus are not invited, you will be killing the shape game. A rhombus is not invited because it does not have to have right angles. It does not always have right angles, and a square has to have right angles. That's why a rhombus isn't invited. A rectangle is not invited to the party because a rectangle does not have to have 4 equal sides, and a square must have 4 equal sides. To be there, be square. Trapezoid party! What makes something a trapezoid? A trapezoid is a quadrilateral, a 4-sided figure with exactly 1 set of parallel sides. Pause it and play for the answer. Who gets to come to the trapezoid party? Womp womp, it's also a lonely party because the only shape here that is both a quadrilateral and a trapezoid, so has 4 sides and only has 1 set of parallel sides, then that would be this pink one. The other shapes cannot fit because they either have too many sets of parallel sides or they're not even quadrilaterals. Okay, so this is another way of breaking it down. I put this in my other video, but I think it's just a really easy way to see how things relate. So if there's a circle or a rectangle inside of a larger one, that means it's also part of that. So a square is also a rhombus, is also a rectangle, and a parallelogram, and a quadrilateral, and a polygon. The only thing a square is not is a trapezoid because it's not inside that box and because a trapezoid has exactly 1 set of parallel sides. So a parallelogram and a trapezoid, you can't have both. You have to be one or the other. But trapezoids and parallelograms are quadrilaterals. And all the shapes that we've talked about today are polygons, are closed shapes with straight sides. So the opposite of a polygon, like non-polygons, would be like a heart or like a U shape or a circle, because those shapes either are not closed, like you wouldn't be able to fence them in or color them in, and they have curves, and polygons cannot have curves either. That's what we mean by straight sides. So let's do a quick exit ticket for our bonus video. Which statement best describes how a parallelogram and a rectangle differ? I'm going to read the answer choices for you. A parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel sides, and a rectangle has only 1 pair of parallel sides. B, a rectangle is a quadrilateral and a parallelogram is not. C, a parallelogram has opposite angles that are congruent, means same side, same shape, and a rectangle has 4 right angles. D, a parallelogram has 4 congruent, same size, same shape, sides, and a rectangle does not. Pause here. Play for the answer. Let's break this down. A parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Well, I tried to write the definition for parallelogram and rectangle as best I could. I drew a parallelogram and then said 2 sets parallel sides. For rectangle, I wrote 4 right angles, opposite sides equal, 2 sets, parallel sides. So a parallelogram does have 2 sets of parallel sides. A rectangle only has 1. That's not true, so it's not A. See how I'm breaking down each step? A rectangle is a quadrilateral 4-sided shape, and a parallelogram is not. When I'm looking at my pictures, I see 4 sides in both, so I'm going to cross that out because this part's not true. A parallelogram has opposite angles that are congruent, and a rectangle has 4 right angles. Okay, I'm glad I drew a picture on this. So opposite angles, that's saying this angle and this angle. Do those look about the same? Are they both obtuse? Yes, they're actually exactly the same. And then this angle, this acute angle, and this acute angle are opposites, and they're the same as well. So that one's tricky, but that is true. Okay, a rectangle has 4 right angles. I know that's true. Now, even if I didn't know that a parallelogram has congruent opposite angles, I could just put a dot next to it and be like, and go to D and then come back. A parallelogram has 4 congruent sides, 4 equal sides, and a rectangle does not. 4 congruent sides is a rhombus. A parallelogram does not have to have 4 congruent sides. So I'm going to X that out. And you know what? Neither does a rectangle. Oh, it says a rectangle does not. Okay, whatever. So I'm crossing that one out, and C would be my right answer. Pat yourself on the back if you got C.